مرحبا وأهلا وسهلا فيكم. Welcome to another tutorial of looking at morphology in Arabic. Okay, and today's verb is daras. Daras is a regular verb, meaning there are no any irregularities around this verb. Daras, which means to study. And if you add an M to the beginning, mudarris. Mudarris, which means teacher. Mudarris, which means teacher. If you add M with a vowel R to the beginning and add ta marbuta to the end of it, which is always pronounced A, and it is madrasa. Madrasa is where the place is taking action, where the teaching is taking action. So madrasa, durus. Durus are lessons. Durus are lessons. Well, the singular as well, if you delete the waw, you ended up with a singular. So dars is a lesson and durus, lessons. The plural is a bit of a hit and miss, and I guess we will have to look at it one day. Durus, lessons. Madrus, which means studied, has been studied. So that's the passive. Madrus. So most of the time the passive is conjugated by adding a vowel, an M, by adding an M with a vowel R and a waw before the last letter. That is how the passive is formed. I have made a detailed tutorial about the passive. Check that out if you have any questions. Look at it, study any greater details. Then if you still have any questions, let me know. Darse. Darse is the active participle. Our fifth derivative here, darse is the active participle, and the clue having the aleph after the first consonant. So darse, studying. Our sixth derivative is dirase. So dirase is studying. That's the verbal noun. Dirase, that's studying, the verbal noun, dirase. Verbal nouns as well, from the form 1, they're a little bit hard to memorize because there isn't a fixed rule for many reasons. But then it becomes much easier to conjugate the verbal nouns from form 2 and upwards. I have actually touched upon this case previously, so when you get the chance, have a look at the verbal noun tutorial, and hopefully you enjoy and find it helpful. And if you have any questions still, then please feel free to ask. Our seventh derivative is darras. Darras, which means to teach. So daras is to study, and that's form 1. But form 2, the way it's conjugated is you double the middle letter. And here the middle letter is R. So darras, darras, and made the verb reflexive. And instead of taking in knowledge, now you give in knowledge, you give out the knowledge, so you teach. So daras is to study, and darras is to teach. That's form 2 in Arabic. And tadris is teaching. Tadris is teaching, and that's the verbal noun from form 2. That's the verbal noun from form 2. So daras is to teach, and tadris is teaching. Okay, let's have a look at the other side. Daras, again, is to study. We've got a very basic example for you here. درست التاريخ في جامعة كامبريدج. درست التاريخ في جامعة كامبريدج. Here's the translation if you didn't manage to catch my translation when I read the first section. So here's the translation, and they actually correspond with numbers. So you could go and check that out. Great, guys. With that, I'll end today's tutorial and wrap this all up. Our verb was daras, which means to study, and look at 8 derivatives. Obviously, just to let you know that on an average, a verb in Arabic has at least 15 derivatives, but we still have more to look at. So that means we've got more derivatives to look at them. Hopefully we'll look at it at another time, but here are 8 derivatives. Hopefully that widens your knowledge of Arabic, and to highlight the importance of memorizing verbs, because if you memorize a verb, you will be able to guess the meaning of other derivatives as we go along. Great, guys. Thank you all very much. Hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Ma salame.